This morning we are in Maine and we are heading to Acadia National Park. We started our day off in Orono and we're a little over an hour away from the park. So we're heading over towards Acadia National Park now, and one of the cool things about Acadia is that they're dog friendly. It's a big reason why we have Howie with us on this trip, because normally when we go to national parks, he cannot come along. So we are going to do a little hiking with our puppy today, and we're really looking forward to crossing this park off of our list. We've been looking forward to coming here for a long time. So right now we're driving along the Schoodic National Scenic Byway. We just stopped off and this is the Frenchman's Bay overlook. It's our first real glimpses of the area and it is just absolutely gorgeous. So we've just entered the area of the park that's on the Schoodic Peninsula. So it's like the Schoodic district of the park. And we had to stop off at the Schoodic Woods Campground to get our American the Beautiful pass because our old one was expired. We got a lot of use out of it, so we decided to get another one for the next year ahead because we're planning on doing a little more traveling coming up. But we're just getting into the park and, well, this part of the park. There's a lot more park to explore than where we're at right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm missing things. It's beautiful. I'm gonna go take it in. The Schoodic Peninsula is bringing it so far. We stopped off, we saw actual lobster fishermen catching them and then throwing back the ones that weren't ready yet. It's kind of been the ultimate Maine experience up here between our lobster rolls and our views of the park, and wow, it's just gorgeous. And now we are making our way over to Schoodic Point. We're out here on Schoodic Point. We've even got Howie out here with us. Seen a lot of dogs out here actually, so that's pretty cool. But it is just beautiful, salty sea air. I just feel like when I get to places like this, I can really breathe. Really. It's gorgeous. I mean, we're just getting started here in Acadia and already views are incredible, and I'm just so excited to see more. So this area that we're at, Schoodic Point, is the only part of the park that is connected to the mainland. Everything else is an island. Oh no, Howie is really trying to drink the water in these pools here.
Well, I'm standing on the back porch of Rockefeller Hall, and one of the things you can do here at Acadia is become a citizen scientist, where you volunteer for data projects and you help them figure out answers to different scientific questions. So that's what this whole institute is about. And I gotta tell you, this Rockefeller Hall, this is a very, very cool building. Amazing brick and stonework, and not a bad setting either.
So, these are lobster traps behind me. So we've been exploring around the Schoodic Peninsula, and that has brought us to Corea, and we're here for lunch. We are going to grab some seafood, probably some lobster, here at the Korea Gallery and Grill, right on the wharf here. Man, it is already so beautiful here, and we're just getting started.
Trying to find the right adjective right now. Idyllic, quintessential perfection. I don't know. It's about 70 degrees. We're on the coast in Maine in the fall. We're sitting on a wharf out on a dock, and we've got a lobster dinner coming, lobster roll, baked beans, potato salad, and blueberry pie. Now, those sides are important because wherever we go somewhere, we do a little research into the history of food wherever we're going. And blueberries were a big deal up in Maine. They grow a lot of blueberries. They used to be the biggest blueberry producer. They're not anymore. But blueberry pie, blueberry cake is a big deal up here. So we're gonna have that for dessert. Baked beans and potatoes. Those are two things that were very common in New England, especially in Maine. They have some bean factories up here, and they used to grow more potatoes than Idaho before Idaho took them over. So potato salad, baked beans, blueberry pie, all part of the equation. So when you add in the lobster roll, and those three sides, I don't think we're gonna get a more Maine meal than this in this setting. It's really why we travel.
You cannot beat this setting. The lobster is so fresh, and I feel like that's a very obvious statement because there are traps surrounding us on all sides. Oh, wow, this is my new happy place.
So when I was a kid, I learned my lesson. Order the lobster roll, because eating a lobster broiled is a bit of a mess. Lobsters, a lot of juice comes out typically. There we go.
Oh my god, there's so much water coming out.
So, that's pretty good right there. And let's go with it.
Got all the tools you need.
All the tools I need.
Wow.
Back to the sea. And look at that, fresh Maine lobster claw. Oh man. You can't get the freshness anywhere else except for when they're pulling it right out of the ocean, cooking it right here. lobster tail out. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. There. It's just all fresh lobster meat. Ooh, it's hot.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Hot butter. Ooh, the butter dripping. Mmm.
I was very excited for the lobster, but I have a feeling this blueberry pie is gonna be the star of the show. I know, it's crazy. Ooh, it's a very flaky crust. It's so blue. It is a perfect balance of sweet and sour from the blueberries. And really, anything in this setting is going to be absolutely delicious, but this pie is no joke. We just finished up at the Wharf Gallery and Grill. It was so good. The lobster, incredibly fresh. The blueberry pie knocked it out of the park. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna top that setting. An incredible setting. We're actually here right before they're gonna close for the season. So we got really lucky. They closed the second week in October. So we just made it, and I'm so glad that we got the chance to come here because it was perfect start to our day here on the Schoodic Peninsula and as we head over to Acadia National Park. We just finished up here on the Schoodic Peninsula. What a beautiful place. It's really setting the tone already for our trip here to Acadia. And now we are heading over to Bar Harbor to explore the larger parts of Acadia National Park. The drive from the Schoodic Peninsula over to Bar Harbor is a little over an hour, so that's something to keep in mind when you're planning your day and you're tooling around the park. They are about an hour apart, so you just need to plan accordingly if you want to get over to Schoodic Peninsula. We just got to our campsite at the Mount Desert Campground. This is where we are staying tonight. This is where this platform, or little stage here, is where we're going to build our tent. We are setting up our tent, and our campsite is really nice. It's in the woods. We have a platform for our tent. We have electric. We have water. We have a picnic table. Those are just some extras. But it's like a beautiful space. I mean, we have people around us, but it feels really private because we're in the woods like this, and I don't know, I'm excited to be here. I think it's really cool. Desert Mountain Campground is so far so good. We are at Charlotte's legendary Lobster Pound, and we're just outside of Acadia National Park. And first of all, this is an extremely lively place. There is live music going on over here. There's games. There's also deer running around over here. Dogs, because it's dog friendly and everything's outside. So a lot going on. and we just placed our order.
I think what we'll do is a foot-long crab roll with fries and slaw, and then we'll also do a lobster bisque.
We are gonna go halvesies because it's a foot-long crab roll. I mean, Adam probably could eat it all by himself, but I don't think he's going to.
In Maine, they're obviously known for their lobster. They do have crab too, and their two most common types of crab are Jonah crab and rock crab. No, something with rocks. Anyway, this is Jonah crab. I checked, it's local, so we're gonna go in. Crab is one of my favorite types of meat. I actually like it better than lobster, but we're in Maine, which is kind of like being in the realm of lobster, so we're doing mainly lobster. This is crab. There's a lot of meat, and it's good. It's a very clean, very tasty crab roll. Slightly toasted. And a little lettuce on there.
Keep seeing lobster bisque all over the place. Finally getting some. It's very creamy. It's a great lobster flavor. It's also starting to get kind of chilly out, so this is like the perfect meal right now. I'm happy to be in Maine. I'm happy to be eating all this delicious seafood while we're out here. Well, I guess it's not seafood, it's shellfish, but whatever. This time of year, a lot of lobster places start closing down for the season because it's just not as busy in the fall as it is in the summer. So we're very happy to be at this place that is super, super lively and has a lot going on. Well, our first full day in Maine has come to an end. We have eaten a bunch of lobster already, and we've set up our campsite. We've started exploring Acadia, and we're just looking forward to the rest of our time here, getting up tomorrow and doing it all over again. Today we are heading into Acadia National Park. Last night we camped at the Mount Desert Campground. It's a really nice campground. It did get a little chilly in the middle of the night, about like 48 degrees. We had a lot of blankets. We had Howie, our little furnace, to keep us warm. But yeah, if you're coming in October, it gets a little chilly at night if you're camping. But it's a really nice campground and we're really close to the park, so we're driving over right now. We are gonna hit up some popular spots in the park. We're gonna drive around Mount Desert Island and take in the sights. One thing we have noticed since we've been out here is that you should keep your park entrance pass on your windshield. So tape it somewhere, set it in your windshield, because they do come around and check your cars to make sure that you have it displayed and that you have paid for park entry, because you can get in with, there isn't really a checkpoint to get in, so you can get in the park without paying, so they will check that to make sure that you did pay, and they'll write you a ticket. So we're driving through the park. We have a few things planned. We know that we're going to Cadillac Mountain for sunset. We had to book reservations ahead of time for your time slot to drive up, so because it's popular and there's limited parking, kind of like most places in this park. Our time slot is 5:30. Jordan Pond was very busy at opening. We're gonna try and go back later. We'll see if we can get in. Everything I read ahead of time did say that it gets busy and that it can be long waits, but we don't really want to waste a lot of park time that we can be exploring, waiting in line to go have some pastries. We're gonna try again later, just see if maybe the crowd thins out closer to the afternoon. But yeah, I guess everyone else had the same idea, to try to get there at opening time. Not surprising. But the park is beautiful. We have some fall colors popping in the pine trees of the park. It's a really beautiful park. we have been driving through the park, and it's kind of strange because you drive in the park and kind of out of the park, because it's not like the island isn't all just the park. There's towns and people live here as well. So we've been driving pretty much through the main part of the park, and now we are just stopped. And there's a bunch of traffic, and it says the entrance is ahead. There is a main entrance to the park. It's just all the way deep inside the park. And the park is busy. We're here again in October, fall foliage. It's kind of the end of the season, and it's busy. It's pretty packed. So the park really is one big loop around. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell on the map what is what, but you pretty much get on the main road and you can drive all the way through. There are a few entrance points, so like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you have your pass displayed on your windshield so that they see it. But then there is the one big main entrance closer to Sand Beach when you're coming from Bar Harbor, where you can buy your pass when you're coming into the park. Our first major stop here in Acadia is Sand Beach.
It's a very beautiful beach.
It's a beautiful beach. A lot of people here enjoying the sun. It's about 65, 70 degrees, so it's pretty warm. There's some people in bathing suits. But a lot of people here enjoying this beautiful day, this beautiful beach. We left the beach, and now we're hiking on Great Head Trail, just above the beach. Probably won't go too far, we just want to see what kind of view we can get from a little bit higher up.
Well, this spot right here, overlooking Sand Beach, the ocean, you got the beautiful trees in the background. This is pretty much what we were imagining when we were planning our trip to Acadia. Hiking up beautiful rocks and hills, looking out at the ocean, and you got some of the fall colors behind us, and it really is absolutely spectacular. We're really enjoying this hike.
We finished up our hike off of Sand Beach, and now we are back in the car and driving along the ocean path here. It's a great option if you don't want to hike too hard, and it takes you to various spots along the way, various hot spots. So we're just kind of cruising along, popping out, taking pictures, and just enjoying this beautiful park. I mean, the coastline is just amazing. We are now going to head out of the park to go grab some lunch. We have been on a lobster roll kick, so it's going to be a little more of that today. We are going to head back to the park for sundown. I mentioned earlier we have reservations for sundown at 5:30, and the sun's supposed to go down a little after 6. So we are going to make sure that we are back in the park to head up Cadillac Mountain for sunset. For lunch today, we are heading over to the Travelin Lobster. We drove by yesterday on our way into the area around Acadia, and there was a pretty long line outside, so it's definitely a popular spot. Today they're only open from 2:30 to 6:30. It does change depending on the day and the time of year, so it's a short window of time for us to get our lobster rolls at the Travelin Lobster today. We are here waiting in line at the Travelin Lobster. We're gonna get some lobster rolls, we're gonna get some clam chowder. I don't know, maybe something else will grab our attention.
Can we get one clam chowder, one large hot roll, one mac and cheese, and a blueberry pie with ice cream. So the Travelin Lobster here in Maine does their lobster rolls in a variety of different ways, but one of the ways they do it is the hot lobster roll. That's where they take the lobster meat and they put it in a butter bath. So instead of doing cold with mayo, this lobster's hot. And here's the deal. We haven't eaten today and I'm ready to dig in, so let's just go. Oh man. I see why people line up. The lobster is very fresh, it's so tender. And then on top of that, this bun is buttery soft. I mean, it's like you bit into a perfectly cooked stick of butter, if that makes any sense. And look at that claw meat. Oh man, look at the butter dripping off that. Well, it's my understanding that the hot lobster roll is the Connecticut style, but I have to say, while I enjoy the ones with a little bit of mayo that are served cold, right now this lobster roll is a king. But we're having a good time trying to figure out which one's the best in Maine.
So I lost count at which lobster roll this is. I think it's three or four. I don't know. The crab roll doesn't exactly count, so I think this is 3. And they've all been amazing so far. I am excited to try a little twist on it. Oh my God. There is a lot of butter. It is so good. The bun is just like melting in your mouth. And you're left with so much lobster meat. There's so much, like, look at, this is just claw meat. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So with the extra lobster meat that's falling off our roll, and there's a lot of meat on there, we're throwing in the mac and cheese we got. So it's now a lobster mac and cheese. Oh my goodness. This is like a Havarti and cheddar mac and cheese, and it is creamy and delicious. When we were hiking on an empty stomach, which isn't very smart, but we don't have an empty stomach anymore. And this is the perfect creamy remedy. Mac and cheese with lobster, right there. Oh, the butter's still coming through. The guy in line in front of us said he got it for lunch yesterday and came back today because he had to have it again. And I get that.
All right, this is the first clam chowder we've had since we have been in New England. There's a ton of potatoes in here and clam meat. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Aside from the hot roll, their chowders are what they're really well known for, and this is amazing. This is making all my New England clam chowder dreams come true right now. Sometimes they serve it in a bread bowl. They did not have bread bowls today, but it's still amazing just on its own. Ooh. I don't think I'm gonna share this at all. since we got here, I've noticed that the line has like doubled in size. And like Adam said, there's a reason people wait in line for this food because everything has been great. We also ordered blueberry pie because, I mean, everywhere has it. And it's homemade here. Adam went up to grab it at the counter.
We've learned our lesson. Let's eat blueberry pie when you're in Maine. And we are doing that right now. Got blueberry pie with 2 scoops of Maine-made vanilla ice cream. We're not gonna wait. We're gonna play with our food. We're just going to do it. Look at that. The blueberries in Maine are a bit smaller and they seem to be a bit sweeter. They're also, every time we've had them, they're just loaded with sugar, which also helps the sweetness. But you can't make this at home because you can't get these blueberries as good. You can't go to the store and buy a pint of blueberries and make this pie. You have to have blueberries from Maine, and they are, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's like Minnesota Vikings colors.
All right. It's a hearty scoop of blueberries right there. Ice cream is really good. I mean, I know vanilla ice cream isn't usually the most exciting ice cream, but
This is when it's topped with blueberries.
it's really good. Yeah, it's got the blueberry sauce. Yes, everything is homemade, everything is delicious, and I just think I'm gonna have a hard time like leaving the pie. That's not what I expected. I expected like, oh, I don't want to leave Maine. I've had so much delicious lobster, but I think I'm gonna be thinking about this pie for a long time. I'm not usually a pie person, but Maine has changed me. Well, we finished up our meal at the Travelin Lobster. Everything was delicious from start to finish. I know we said it earlier, but we can see why people line up all day long to get their hot rolls because there's so much lobster meat and so much flavor, so much buttery goodness. I had a great time. I'm surprisingly not sick of eating lobster yet, as many times as we've had it since we've been up here. Maybe we can get one more stop in while we're up here.
We can find another unique lobster roll.
We're trying to find unique lobster rolls. Everyone that we've had has had a little variation, and that keeps it fresh. If you're coming up to Acadia National Park, you should definitely make time in your day to stop at the Travelin Lobster because, man, they're doing great work.
One of the things I really wanted to do when we were in Maine was get out on the water and kayak, and it's a really nice 70-degree day, just going along the shoreline here at our campground, and it's just really relaxing, a lot of fun, and boy, glad I had this experience because it's a good one.
After our lunch, we took a quick break. I napped a little bit back at the campsite, and Adam went kayaking. I'm a little jealous that I didn't go, but I needed a little rest after all that lobster we ate for lunch. Now we are heading back into Acadia because we're heading up Cadillac Mountain for sunset. It's been a beautiful day here, and the sun has been out, and it's been really warm and not cloudy at all. Some parts on our trip have been rainy and overcast out this way, and we've gotten so lucky the 2 days that we've been up here at the park. So now we're heading up for sunset. This is Cadillac Mountain has been on all the lists as a must-do when you come to Acadia. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and seeing the view of the whole park from up on top. Cadillac Mountain is actually the highest point on the East Coast, and from October to March, it is the first place that you can see the sunrise in the United States. All right, we checked in at the entrance for Cadillac Mountain. Like I said, you do have to reserve your time slot ahead of time before they'll let you in, because it's a popular destination and it can get pretty crowded up here, and the parking lot can get crowded. The drive up here has been really beautiful so far. The leaves are changing and the sun is setting. It's just gorgeous. Well, we made it to the top of Cadillac Mountain. Beautiful drive up and just an incredible view as far as the eye can see. We feel like pictures never do places like this justice. Right now we're on the east side. We're gonna head over to the west side towards the sunset, see how it looks over there. Well, that sunset was the perfect end to our day here in Acadia. Even Howie thoroughly enjoyed it. There were a lot of dogs around. But just such a beautiful place, an amazing setting to watch the sunset, because I feel like so often when you're in the mountains, you don't get to see a sunset like that because the mountains are usually hiding it. This is definitely a must-do if you're in Acadia National Park, because Cadillac Mountain brings the views. It's been the best views of the day. You get 360 of the whole park as far as the eye can see. If you've been to Acadia and you've come to Cadillac Mountain for sunrise, let us know what that's like in the comments below, because we don't usually get up that early, but I imagine it's pretty spectacular. It's a pretty special place to watch the sunrise as well as the sunset. So today we start our journey back home from New England. So we have to leave Maine, we have to leave the lobsters. But before we do that, we're going to make our way down the coast and explore along the way. So first, we're actually going to go over to Bar Harbor because we're still in the Acadia area. So we're going to head over to Bar Harbor and explore the Maine downtown area. We haven't really done that since we've been out here because we've been spending our time in the park. So we're going to start our day off in Bar Harbor, and then we're going to make our way down the coast and start making our way back home to Chicago. It is like a 22-hour drive, so it will take a few days. We're going to make stops along the way and still soak in all the fall foliage that we can along the way as we head home. So right now we are walking around Bar Harbor. We put our name in for a breakfast spot, and we're now on the shore path walking right along the water here. So beautiful. There's hotels here that overlook the water, which is probably a pretty nice place to stay. And beautiful day. It's like in the 60s, a little windy, but just beautiful views of the water. We are still in Bar Harbor and we're getting breakfast at Jeannie's Great Maine Breakfast. We are getting blueberry pancakes and Adam's gonna get a huge breakfast. So it's called the Cadillac Mountain, which is where we were last night. It's 65 degrees today, so it's beautiful. We are sitting outside on their dog-friendly patio. It's a really, really cute space. All right, my very berry pancakes have arrived. There are blueberries on the inside and some homemade blueberry sauce on top, whipped cream. It is a blueberry dream here. Leaving the blueberries in Maine really is gonna be the hardest part. All right, let's load it up.
No lobster at this meal.
Oh man, I just want this like blueberry sauce injected into my veins all the time. It is so good. This is basically dessert for breakfast, and I won't apologize for that. I didn't even put syrup on it. I forgot about syrup. It doesn't really need it. Truthfully, it does not need it. The pancakes are fluffy, crispy, so much blueberry flavor. This is the Maine breakfast of our dreams.
My plates of food is called the Cadillac Mountain, which we went up yesterday. Beautiful views. Also a beautiful view at breakfast right now. We got 3 eggs, pieces of toast, 2 bacon, 2 sausage, fries, grilled ham, a blueberry pancake, and baked beans. Baked beans are a big deal in Maine, but also this is very British. They have beans over in Britain for breakfast, which when we were in England, I did not try that. I guess we're in New England and I'm trying new things. So let's dig in here. I don't even know where to start. These sausages look seasoned too, so we're gonna do that.
Sausage looks good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, look at that. We drove up Cadillac Mountain. This seems like a reward for someone who hiked up Cadillac Mountain, but I'm gonna do it all the same. I'll just be over here eating all this.
Last bite. I can't believe I ate all those. Worth it. We finished up our breakfast at Jeannie's Great Maine Breakfast. Yeah, I'd say that was a Great Maine breakfast. Blueberry pancakes, Adam's huge Cadillac Mountain breakfast. definitely hit the spot. Would totally recommend if you're in the Bar Harbor area, stop in and have breakfast there because everything was homemade and just, man, that blueberry sauce was delicious. But we're gonna keep on rolling on. I think we're gonna finish up here in Bar Harbor and start heading out of town here pretty soon. It's gonna be hard to leave Maine. I keep saying that, but it's really true. We've had a great time here. It's a little chilly at night, but other than that, we've just really enjoyed hanging out in the park and exploring this beautiful area that we haven't really spent a lot of time in. So we're making our way through Maine here, and we just stopped off at the Penobscot Narrows Observatory. This is it behind me. It's the tallest observatory bridge in the world. So, tallest observatory bridge in the world. It's a nice bridge. It's a beautiful area too. Beautiful fall leaves are changing. And we're gonna keep rolling through Maine. So our next stop here on our Maine coastal tour is the town of Camden, and it's a very cute little town. Our goal here is to find a bakery to pick up some blueberry sweets to take home with us. Maybe some pie, we'll see. So we are here in Camden, and we were looking for a blueberry treat, but we found something else. Now, we saw on a sign that the whoopie pie is the state treat of Maine. So because we saw it on a sign, it must be true, right? Look at this. This is, wow. It's like 2 cakes with frosting in the middle. I'm sure those of you at home know what a whoopie pie is, but just if you need a refresher. Kind of tastes like childhood, like a Hostess snack, but like a million times better. It's a really tasty chocolate cake.
We've seen them all over the place.
We've seen them everywhere.
That
like
was the best looking one we've seen.
Like almost like every lobster stand has also served these along with blueberry pie. It is a decadent treat.
We also got some hot cider, which is really terrific. It's spiced. You can see that in there. If the camera picks it up. And, you know, it's about 65, and it's this beautiful little town with the boats in the harbor and kids screaming. Besides that, the trees are kind of turning. There's a church spire and the official sweet treat of Vermont,
Of Maine.
also known as Maine. Official sweet treat of Maine, the whoopie pie. This is a happy accident because I wanted a blueberry item. I didn't see one. Actually, that's a lie. I saw a blueberry cheesecake, and I thought, I don't know if I want cheesecake right now. So I saw the whoopie pie. I said, all right, let's get that. But I think we made the right choice here. Oh man, these are like really fluffy cookies.
It's like a
And that is straight like frosting in there.
It's like a magical Oreo.
Yeah, this is different than what you would get at the store. Yeah, it was like a giant fluffy Oreo. So Camden Deli whoopie pie is basically a giant magical fluffy Oreo. That is official state treat of Maine, which makes it the official state treat of America. as far as I'm concerned.
Well, if you are driving along the Maine coast and looking for a spot to grab lunch or dinner, want to pick up from a little cafe and sit in a park, Camden. There's this beautiful park overlooking the town, and we really enjoyed our stop here. But onward.
So we are making one more stop in a coastal town today. And right now we are in Rockland. Before we leave Maine, we need to have one more meal. And if you have made it this far in the video, I think you know what we're probably going to be eating. Starts with an L, ends with an R. We're stopping at a place called Claws here in Rockland. And yes, we're gonna grab one last lobster roll before we roll out of Maine.
Here it is, the final entry in our Maine lobster crawl, or what I'm calling it, the lobster claw crawl. We are in Rockland. This is the lobster capital of the world, which is what they say on the sign. So we're taking all the signs to be truth here in Maine, and we have learned our lessons along the way. We like the butter poached warm lobster roll, and so that's what they got here. They call it the Flatlander, which, you know, I won't take offense to because we come from very flat lands with a lot of cornfield. But one of the things that we've kind of been noticing is the lemon. We would love to squeeze a lemon on all of our lobster rolls. This one came with it. Good touch. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, and butter. And that looks like a good amount. And this restaurant is called Claws. That's not a claw. This is a claw. Look at that. Live it up to the name. I'm gonna actually take a little bit and drip it in the lobster bisque. I'm saving that for later. So, let's dig into our final lobster claw. Oh my god. That is buttery goodness right there. I didn't think the lobster rolls were going to keep getting better. Amazingly, they have. This one is so tender, so soft, and just loaded with butter. I got to get Madeline eating it before all the butter melts through the bread, so let's go.
All right, let's put it back together a little bit here. The bread is really soaked through with butter. So we're probably going to be using a fork and knife for the rest, but let's get a bite. So good, so buttery. I really don't want to leave. Yeah, I think we have come to the conclusion that the hot roll is the way to go. Yell at me in the comments if you disagree, but this is my new favorite thing.
That's the lobster tail right there. So, lobster bisque. Last time I got lobster bisque, Madeline ate like 95% of it, so I've really been wanting it, and theirs looked very good. We saw people eating it before we walked up. Look at that. I put a little extra lobster in there. Oh, yeah. So, the key to a good soup is making your own broth. I'm guessing they use the leftover lobster, make their own seafood broth. Creamy, tomatoey, chunks of lobster in there. That's not even lobster I put in there. Like, that's just legit. That's just more lobster. Ooh, man. Every year on New Year's, we try to recreate our favorite bites of the year. It's kind of our meal. I don't think we're going to be able to do this one because we're not going to be able to get lobster that good. but I have found the secret to the best lobster roll in Maine. I think it's whichever lobster roll you're eating at the time. Find a nice setting, get a lobster roll, kick back and enjoy life. Well, we finished the lobster roll, and look how much lobster meat was left over. That's all going in the lobster bisque.
Lobster bisque here is really, really good. I know we just added a bunch of extra lobster to it, but there was so much lobster in here already. It's so good. All right, my last bit of lobster for a while.
Claw is a claw.
It is a claw piece. Until we meet again, Maine. If you want to see more from our adventures in Maine, click right here. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.